In this video, I'm going to be telling you about the new core exam prep class that is now available. If anybody would like to try it out, I want to offer you a 20% off coupon. To use the coupon, add the class to your cart, go to the checkout, and then right here where it says have a coupon, you want to click on that. When you click on that, another window will open up, and in that window it will, or you will, enter this coupon code, CORE20 off April 12. Only good through April 12th of this year, 2025. This will knock $40 off the cost of the class. And as you'll see in the video, I encourage you to continue watching the video. This is a comprehensive class. This 10 months in developing it. There's a manual. There's 600 study questions. There's 650 practice exam questions. There's over 27 hours of video available. This class does give you the materials you need to pass the CCO Mobile Crane Core. The core exam prep class is finally done. It's available. If anybody would like to purchase access to the materials, go to www.loadchartacademy.com. I do want to take just a few minutes and tell you a little bit about what's included in the class, how it's structured. I'll give you some examples, talk about all the different material that's covered as well. And here is the content of the class. If you purchase access, you'll have access to 1,308 pages of material highlighted with photos, diagrams, and calculations, broken down into 14 chapters. You'll have access to the OSHA construction regulations, 1926-1400, general industry regulations, ASME B30.5, only selected sections. That's copyrighted material. I can't share the entire thing with you without getting myself in a lot of trouble. So I'm just taking certain parts of ASME B30.5 and sharing it with you. Now, in the actual videos and the questions and the other part of the class, pretty much everything you need from ASME B30.5 is covered. I've tried not to leave any stone unturned in putting together this material. It's a lot of material. And I would rather give you something that you don't need than not give you something that you need for the exam. That's kind of a driving motivator for me when I put together this class. Also provide you with a glossary of crane-related terms. Over 27 hours of video tutorials. I think it's closer to 28, but again, I don't want to overstate, so we'll just go with over 27 hours of video tutorials. The thing about the videos that's great compared to YouTube, you don't have to sit through any commercials. No YouTube commercials. You're not going to be in the middle of the video and then have to watch a 15-second commercial on the latest snow tires. I mean, it's no commercials. Chapter quizzes and study questions. Over 600 study questions. Again, this is broken down by chapter. Chapter 1, material covered in Chapter 1, there are study questions that go along with Chapter 1. Chapter 2, study questions. And some of the chapters have a lot of study questions. The rigging chapter, I think, is over 100 study questions, and the operations chapter is over 150 study questions just for those two chapters. Practice exams. Over 650 multiple choice questions in the question bank. And there's a couple of different ways that you can use these practice exams, and I'll talk more about that in just a second. Again, it is an online class, and there are advantages to online. I like face-to-face classes also. I like, the social aspect of the online or of the face-to-face classes, but we don't all have time to do a week-long class in Sarasota Beach, Florida, or wherever the hell it's at. The online also is less expensive. A week-long class, like I mentioned, that can be thousands of dollars. With online, you don't have those expenses, no travel expenses, no lost productivity. You don't have to take off a week of work. This is easier to sell your employer on. If you want to get your employer involved in purchasing this class for you, you say, hey, I don't have to miss any work. You can do it any time of the day, night, whenever, wherever. Also, it's not all crammed into a week. Spread out your study over several months. If you purchase access, you will have 1 year access to the material. That way you can study. If you need to take a retake, you'll still have the material. Do it a little at a time, hour a day, 2 hours a day, whatever works best for your schedule. There's nothing more painful than sitting in a classroom for 8 hours in a face-to-face class. That's a disadvantage of the face-to-face classes. Who has that kind of attention span to listen to a guy talk for 8 hours and look at PowerPoint slides on a screen for 8 hours? This way you don't have to sit through that misery. There are some really good classes out there face-to-face, and I do them myself, but I think the online is a better way to go. And like I've already said, do it anytime, anywhere, any place. You have 1 year access. Spread it out. Also, if let's say you cover the rigging chapter and you forgot something, you need to go back and look at a rigging video again. But maybe you just forgot something about shackle usage or shackle regulations. Well, you can go back to the shackle video and watch that thing over and over again as many times as you want to. If you're in that week-long class, once that class is over, that instructor becomes a ghost. You may be able to contact them and ask them questions, but most of the time, in my experience, once that class is over, they've forgotten about you and moved on to the next class. If you have any questions at any time, you can contact me, preferably between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. Central Time. Send me an email, a text. You will have my contact information, the information you'll need to get a hold of me. How to take the class, go to www.loadchartacademy.com, click on the NCC Core Exam Prep class. There will be several classes there. This is the one you want if you want the Core Exam Prep class. Cost $200 for a 1 year subscription. That subscription will give you online access to all materials. From a technology standpoint, and from a logistical standpoint, this is an entirely online class. You will not be able to download materials. You will need a device with a large screen. I recommend an 8-inch minimum screen. Bigger is better. If you have a small screen, you're not going to be able to see everything on a small screen. It's going to be so small that's unreadable. If you try to do it on your phone, that's not going to work very well. You're not going to be able to see the information as well as you need to be able to see it. Now, some of the features may work okay on a phone, like the practice questions and the practice exam questions. That might work okay without a large screen. That may work fine on the phone. You're also going to need good internet. If you live out in a rural area, your internet's not great, there's going to be some buffering issues, just as a warning. Some additional final points. This is a work in progress. I'm going to continue to update it, improve it. If you have any questions, contact me. Here's my contact information. There will be typos. 10 months have gone into putting this together and a lot of material involved. There's going to be some mistakes. There's going to be some typos. Please let me know if you find a typo. You can help me out in that way. Finally, access to the materials doesn't guarantee passing the exam. You got to put your time in. I probably don't need to say that, but then again, I do need to say that. But whether you purchase the class or not, I do wish you luck on your exams. Like I've said in other videos, I hate seeing good operators get screwed over by these exams. So that's been my motivation for several years, is to help good operators renew or achieve their certification. I've seen some of the best, I would say the best operators I've ever worked with retired because they didn't want to deal with CCO exams and the licensing requirement that that OSHA came down with several years ago. And I don't, I want to give everybody another option. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I hope this helps a lot of people.